Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Let's Grow on Some. Today, we're going to be talking about body image. We're going to be talking about how we feel, what's our relationship to our bodies, and then we're going to dabble into sex, our relationship to sex, and how it's changed over the years. So, ladies, what do you feel like your relationship to your body has been over the years? How has it been amicable, and how has it been not so amicable?
That's a good question. I'll say for me, I think I'm more comfortable in my body now. As far as before, I was more self conscious in different areas of my body, like my legs, my breasts, even, you know, I don't know, like different parts. As like, I think as women, like, we go through this a lot and we kind of like, self sabotage when it comes to our body, and although somebody else may be like appreciating whatever I'm having an issue with, like, all they say, oh, don't worry about that. Your lips are like, beautiful. People are paying for it and stuff, but that's not what you see when you're looking at it yourself. So I think now the only thing that I'm still kind of like I'm dealing with is my breasts because they're like really big, and I wish like I could. I don't know if people are gonna judge me if I say that, but I could go and get like a breast reduction. Like I've been thinking about it, but I'm not actually going to do it because I have keloid skin. This is another thing that another issue that I have about my body. Like whenever I have like a cut or whatever it is, like my skin won't heal properly. Like you'll have like a raised skin, and that's what keloid skin is. So yeah, I guess I've shared a lot more than I wanted to, but
No, but thank you so much for sharing because it's good to be open about these things. I think every single woman on this planet has something that they're insecure about when it comes to their bodies. They might not be very open about it, but there's something you want to change. That if you could, you would either have surgery or you wish you were born with features that you envy, or not in a negative way, but that you would prefer to have. So
mhm.
I can totally relate to what you've said, especially the part where you mention your breast, because for me, from a very early age, I've always been very, very self conscious and insecure about my breasts. Like you, I have larger than, yeah, I have. I'm basically well endowed. Now that's how I choose to see it. But growing up, especially back I think the culture had something to do with it because, being a 10, 11-year old in Haiti, where, you have bigger breasts than your classmates,
Mhm.
people make fun of you. I used to, they used to make comments, in Haiti, they call it mamel. And
That's the
I would
equivalent of like
say
Mambury.
that. Huh?
I have no idea, but that's what they call it. I
Where is it
guess
from?
that's what they
Where
call
is
it
it
in Haiti. They say, "Oh, well, tu fais ça bien gros mamelle," and stuff like that. And I grew up being real, and to this day, I'm still not very comfortable when it comes to my breasts. And you've mentioned surgery. I don't have any plans to get surgery
Yeah.
because I think I'm a little bit, I'm getting more comfortable with um the fact that, you know what it is, I'm probably one of those women that will never be able to just go, well, I'm choosing, because I've seen people do it, go out without a bra on just to be comfortable doing it, I've accepted that. But I have to say, body image issues or disturbance, they can affect every aspect of your life.
Mm.
As a teenager or even in my 20s, I would not wear certain type of clothing. Like I would never wear something like that. And I specifically chose this today just to make a point.
Yeah.
I would not wear something like that because I thought that, my breasts are too big. I don't want to show them. I don't want people to see. I don't want to highlight them.
And
But
it's so funny
now,
that you said that because I went the opposite way to hit mine, like because I didn't want it to show. And well, although black is one of my favorite color, but like now I think I'm wearing more of a crew neck or turtleneck or stuff like that to kind of hide it. Although I do expose it sometimes. It's not like they're not saggy or anything like that. It's just like, they're super like, big. And sometimes I do want to wear certain things that those people that have like, A or B cup are wearing. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be judged for wearing that because although where they can have a past wearing it, for me, it's gonna be like, look at a like, explicit in an explicit way. Then they would look at somebody else that's like a A or a B.
yeah.
But I'm proud, and they look great. You look great in that red dress.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It shows improvement to me.
It does.
Where I am mentally right now. I'm not going to just hide myself anymore.
Yeah, I've always had I guess like I don't know how to describe my breasts, but like I guess they fit my body, but they're not big at all. And so like, I've always been able to like go out with, without a bra. I don't normally do it because, I don't want to invite that kind of attention. But like, I can get away with like wearing certain things, and I never realized that like it was a challenge for people with bigger breasts. I don't know what that whole world is like. I remember I would hear things about like people getting like back pain and other things, and I'm just like I don't understand what that like. I've never had that, but at the same time I remember going through puberty. I was one of the first people in my class, believe it or not. I was one of the first people in my class to get breasts. I had breasts at like 10 years old. Well, no, I was actually the second person. So I had breasts at like 10 years old. I mean, clearly they haven't really grown much since. But like I remember just being uncomfortable with the fact that I had it. And I remember like having to like go through the process of like getting a bra and stuff. And I don't know what it was about that made it so uncomfortable. I guess like when you're 10 and your body is changing, it's just an uncomfortable thing. And so I think from then on, like my relationship to my body, it was just one of discomfort. It started off with discomfort, and it just kept on going. And I don't know what it was about the process that caused it, or where I could have like changed things. But like, yeah, I don't know, where does it come from? I remember you saying, Jeffon, that like, you had developed breasts very early, and so you felt uncomfortable about it. But like, where does that come from?
I think I'm not sure, but I think at 10, 11 years old, you're going into that adolescent stage. And as you guys all know, it's a very awkward stage and you're very self-conscious about everything. I think it's at the stage that you're also becoming more aware of your surrounding, and also at that age you want to fit in. You want to fit in. So and it can go either way, where the kids that are well developed or early, they developed certain features at a very early age, they they feel a certain way, but then the ones that, don't have anything, they also feel the same way. So I think that would, obviously I'm not a psychologist. I can't really get too much into it, but it's interesting how, this, at the end of the spectrum, the feeling is the same.
Mm.
Yeah.
But then to a certain point too, it's more so within yourself, because you're comparing yourself to your like your classmates, and how come they don't have it and I have it? Then you start like self-sabotaging. um and also it doesn't help with the or community, the society that's like pointing out like the insecurity that you're going through at the moment. So I think all that comes into play.
Yeah. I think definitely society really has a huge impact on it. I remember well, like I guess within like the girls in my class, the ones who had developed physically later on versus the ones who had developed physically earlier on, we had different experiences because we had developed at a time where people just weren't like ready for it. So I remember girls would get teased. We were in elementary school, and I guess boys weren't mature enough to like, I guess girls and boys weren't really mature enough to like really understand the concept of like your body grows. So I remember there were, times where girls would get teased earlier on. And the ones who developed later on were actually, it was almost like they were praised. It was like, they were looked highly upon. And then the period was another thing too. I remember getting a period early was, well, I don't know, like I didn't get my period early. I got my period really late actually. So I think the cutoff was like 15 and I got mine at like 14 and a half.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But like, I remember like it was almost a badge of honor for girls to have their periods, even at an early age. And I didn't have it until like I was like well into middle school. And I remember being in the bathroom pretending like I was putting on tampons just to try
I
to.
did the same thing too. I used to wear actually an actual pad, like working around.
I didn't have anything going on.
Oh God, I got my period very early.
Peer pressure, everybody's having it. Okay, so why am I not?
Exactly.
Like, why didn't I get mine yet? Like, is something wrong with me? What? Like, why is it taking so long? So,
Or why do I have it? Is there something wrong with me?
Yes, I think it's the same everywhere because well, I can speak to me growing up in Haiti. If you're 13 or 14 and you still haven't gotten your period, oh God, you're in trouble because it's open season. People will make fun of you. And then they have like, they give you names that are obviously not nice and will will hurt your feelings, but that's what happens. And I don't think, and what's sad about it, it's like you have absolutely no control over that.
exactly.
You don't have any. I mean, I got mine at 10 years old, but
Wow.
yes, I got everything at 10 years old. Oh my God, everything happened.
So Audrey is 6. That's 4 more years. I mean, if it were to, I guess we're doing the whole comparison thing right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and no, but I mean, nowadays people kids get their period definitely
Super early.
sooner. So I wouldn't be surprised. I hope that I'll be ready mentally to take her, to help her in through the process.
Yeah.
But for me, it really wasn't an easy period of my life. I remember I used to feel very ugly as well because that's the time that you would get the pimples.
Yes.
Just it was not fun. Another, I know we've been talking about
Body.
features and all that, but I also wanted to talk about feelings of like dealing with body weight as well, because I know that that's another one us as women, not everyone, obviously, I don't want to generalize, that our weight fluctuates for some people.
Mhm.
And that's something that affects us as well. So does anyone, and I'll share, but does anyone else have anything that they would like to comment when it comes to
Weight-wise, I
body
think
weight?
I shared before, like, I'm strict when it comes to my weight. I like to see a certain numbers, and I do have a scale in my bathroom that I stepped on every single day. And, I do extreme diet sometimes, like if I have to keep it like, at a certain level. And yeah, and now it's like I'm trying to reach a certain goal, so I'm switching my diet just to get to that goal. And and as long as I don't do it in a way where it's gonna harm myself, and I have it under control, I think it's fine. I don't think it's
Why do you feel like your weight right now is unhealthy? Like, do you feel like the number that you're seeing on the scale, it doesn't satisfy you?
um
Because, like, I know, like you said,
no.
it's about perception.
Yes and no. So I don't want to share what that number is, but also like, it's also the way your body is proportioned. I have big breasts, I can get rid of them and like, they weight and my legs are like, super thick. Like I can get rid of that. So like, but I mean I can if I exercise, like, I'm hard enough, and that's what I've been doing. To some people, they would be like, oh, she look amazing. I want to look like her, or whatever the case may be. But like we're all been saying, like, throughout this video, like, you know, um, you're still gonna find that one thing that's not good, that's not perfect, and which is normal, you know. And I guess throughout me, like, growing up and becoming the woman that I'm supposed to be, like, over the years, like, I'm gonna fall in and out of love, like, with my body, certain part of it, and which is okay. And I get that. Do I love myself? Yeah, I do love myself. I think I look pretty. It's not like, I hate it, but you still go into nitpick and want to fix, like, little things, because you always want to aim to perfection, but you like, it's not really that you're looking for to be that perfect, but you want to be like, okay, look at yourself in the mirror and be like, damn girl, you look fine. So
Yeah,
yeah, so yeah.
I had issues with my weight, and I've struggled with my weight my whole entire life. So I'm actually on the smaller end, um, and I'm actually like I've spent most of my life, if not all of it, underweight, and that's something that like I think we don't give much attention to, because I know society like favors thinner people over people who are heavier. I always wanted to be normal weight. I would go to my doctor's office, and they would weigh you, and it was just really disappointing to find out that like you didn't put on any weight and your doctor was concerned for you. I mean, there were times where like my doctor would even like tell me, if you want to eat junk food, eat junk food. And then they would ask questions about like my mental health to try to like assess whether I had like an eating disorder or something like
Mhm.
that. And the thing is, like, I was very, very thin. I've actually put on 18 pounds since then, but I've been on a whole journey, like, and I can talk about that too. But like I remember I was very, very thin. It was to the point where you can actually see my rib cages, um,
Mhm.
and you can actually like I had very little muscle. It was just I was very, very thin. And so yeah, they would tell me, if you want to eat junk food, eat ice cream, eat McDonald's. They would tell me, whatever you want to eat, just eat it. And I would eat it. It just wouldn't stay on.
Yeah,
And
and you
I remember,
probably have like a super fast metabolism. That's why it's probably like you losing,
yeah,
you're not keeping it on, or something.
yeah, I think I just had a very fast I still do have a very fast metabolism. And so yeah, so it was hard for me to keep on the weight, and I would try whatever anybody would prescribe. I remember I would try like syrups and vitamins and stuff that would help to help you to like eat more and to keep on weight.
Yeah.
um so it wasn't really my fault, but the thing is, like, I had a negative association with my weight because the people around me also would make comments about me, and I would get it from like health and medical professionals. And so recently I actually started weightlifting, which has helped me keep on the weight. And I've started like taking supplements to help me like eat more and kind of like keep the weight on.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's been my journey with like with weight gain. But and I've actually documented it all on IG if you care to follow.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
awesome.
yeah, but like that's the thing. Like I think sometimes like it's really unfortunate that we aren't able to develop a relationship with our bodies before the external world tells us what it is. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's really unfortunate, and I think
Um,
I, it it's almost like it hits you at an age where you should have developed that ability. It almost hits you out of nowhere. And for me, it was 10. And for other people, it could be much earlier, much later. But it's really unfortunate that we don't develop that sense of self in our relationship with our bodies before the world gets to us.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know if any of you guys remember, but I was super, super, super skinny. I used to wear size zero, like back in the days, and they used to give me that nickname Zandolit. And like my own family, like if they call it for me at home, they be like Zandolit, like you
Wow.
can.
That's what I was saying. They find the
It,
meanest names for you. It's
Exactly.
like, who would
Yes,
want to be called
it was a
Natalie?
word of endearment. It was a name of endearment and stuff like that. But to me, it's like I don't want to hear that. So yeah, but yeah, I was super skinny, and back then I remember wanting to like gain weight. But now that I'm like super curvaceous and stuff like that, I'm like, damn, I wish I could go back, back
That's it.
then and stuff, to kind of like maybe not all the way back there though, but in between, because it's hard.
Yes, it's a constant struggle. I feel like us as women, it's a constant struggle. It's like you get to a certain point, you're happy, but it's transient. You're not happy all the time. I mean, talking about my weight journal, like journey, for me, when I was, again, pre-adolescent and during my teenage years, I was on the heavier side. But I don't think I don't think I really had a problem with it myself, because of the fact that both sides of my family, they're what they call big bones. Like I was around people that looked like me. We all, a little bit on the, fluffy side. But again, as you mentioned, Talisha, society, obviously they had something to say about that. So I think that's when, again, comparing myself to my classmates, seeing how, they were able to wear certain things that I couldn't wear. Because then, to piggyback on what you said, Priska, when you're a little bit, and I think I was on the curvy side as well. So it accentuates certain things when we wear, if I wear a short skirt where, then my butt is showing and my thighs are showing, whereas someone who's slimmer, it doesn't look the same. It doesn't look as, I don't want to say vulgar, but
Yeah.
it's not the same perception.
Mm-hmm.
But and and for that reason, for the longest time, my mother would not let me wear certain things. I couldn't, or she would buy me clothes that are much bigger than I actually am, just because she didn't want that attention. So at the time, I didn't really understand why she was doing that. but I could feel that something wasn't right. It's like I'm not being accepted for who I am, and but I felt happy. I don't think I felt miserable. I mean, aside from my breasts, I really didn't have a problem with my weight or how the rest of my body looked, honestly. It wasn't until I moved to the States. I moved here in 2005 that I started watching Victoria's Secret. The the
Yeah.
the the fashion show that they have every Christmas or around the holidays. That I I don't know what happened. Something changed where I felt that I needed to look like them. And it actually created a problem. Something that I am going to share with you guys that I've never shared with anyone, where in my 20s I became bulimic
Wow.
because I really wanted to look like them.
Yes,
It
right.
wasn't until I realized that no matter what I did, my body structure is different from theirs. But first of all, these girls are 5'9", 5'10", almost 6 feet. I'm like 5'5", 5'6". I like five and I don't know, in between. And I realized, first of all, I can't get rid of my boobs, and they have small boobs, except for Tyra, who kind of that was the only person that maybe I could have attained like how she looks, but everyone else, I tried, I really did, and that's sad because I spent all these years just really killing myself. And then that's when I realized, you know what? I might lose the weight, but I will never look like them. And I started looking at other people that even exercising, you have two people that have a same exercise routine, but the way that their body transforms over the period of the time that they're exercising,
Mhm.
it's they look different.
They do.
So that's what helped me, that no matter what I did, I'm never going to look like them. I just need to find what works best for me and look a way that I'm happy with.
I think that's the whole point, right? Just like, to be happy for you and find what works for you. I think that's the whole message that we should like, take from it.
Yeah.
So I think we have another question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how has your relationship with sex changed over the years when it comes to body issues?
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think like, now, I don't think my sex life was ever related to my body. To be honest with you, it was more so understanding it and being more comfortable with what was going on. So growing up, it was not like, I wasn't privy to the informations when it comes to sex, because it was something that, you like kind of like, especially like in a Haitian household, you were like pretty much forbidden to even like, talk about that. I didn't get the birds and the bees type of like, conversation with my parents. Like they never told me like, what goes in, what comes out, and anything like that. So I pretty much had to figure out everything on by myself, from watching TV and eavesdropping and listening to other people talking around me. So I think as I got older and I started to learn more and being more comfortable with sex and talking about sex. And I think that's how my relationship with sex has gotten more comfortable, to be honest. Because now it's like, and even now, if I'm talking about it and I feel someone that's like, oh, I don't like talking about things like that and stuff like that, I'm like, well, there's nothing wrong with that, you know, and we keep thinking in the back of our head, like, you know, there's something wrong with it, but it's not. It's as normal as you're breathing, you know, and if we're comfortable talking about, like, you know, breathing, you should be comfortable talking about sex because it's normal. It's not a foreign thing, you know. It's normal.
It is absolutely. It's biology.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I think if you see it that way, it's something that you know, it's supposed to be beautiful. It's supposed to be you know, the time that you connect with the person that you love.
Yeah.
Um I do have to say for me, because of the reasons that I mentioned prior, I well, obviously a big part of, well, you know, when you're in the act, the most sensitive parts of your body, you know, your breast is,
Yeah.
they're one of them. And you know, it's no secret by now that this is one part that I've never been comfortable. So I have to say that I would hide myself,
Yeah.
you know. I've never liked the folk, I've never liked to highlight them, and that's one time that you kind of like, they kind of have to participate. So that's, I have to say, that's one area that I don't think I have improved, because I don't think I've, no matter how hard I try, I'm accepting my boobs more, but this is still my struggle,
Yeah.
and I'm not there yet for, you know, to be able to you know, have someone else, you know, be part of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do want the light off.
And I do think, like, you know, part of that is not, like we're saying, like, the more comfortable you are with yourself and the more comfortable you are with your body, the more comfortable you're going to be with your partner. And I think one lesson that I got from early on from my gynecologist, it was to get comfortable with my body and overall, like, every part of your body, and that's actually going to help you um, when it comes to that. And granted, like, you know, some people are not comfortable with it, and it's fine. You know, some people are very private, which is okay. It's not like I'm gonna go out, like, you know, in the public and talk about my sex life or whatever the case may be, or how comfortable I am with it. But I think, as a person, or as a woman, or as a man, or whatever, it goes both ways. You're supposed to be comfortable with that, and that's gonna help you um, later on, or at the current moment, like, you know, when it comes to your relationship in the bedroom with your partner.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I remember when I was so during my weight gain journey, I went through a period of bulking. So I had to eat a lot, and I was trying to put on and keep on weight as much as possible.
Mhm.
And as a result, like, I ended up with like a really big pudgy belly. Everything else was like thin. My belly was like was out there. And I remember, like, I mentioned that to my partner, and and he rubbed it and he was like, it's sexy. And
Oh,
I like,
that's nice.
like it was the smallest thing, but it meant so much. It meant, like, you know, it was just the fact that, you know, he accepted it, um
Mm.
and it made me more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was interesting because I noticed that the things that I was insecure about didn't really matter in those moments.
Matter to him.
Helped, yeah, it helped to kind of I think going through that, like, I think sex had really helped me to accept certain parts of my body, and having a supportive partner also helps to
Yeah.
do
I
that.
agree with you
But
100%, Alicia.
yeah,
That is very, very, very important.
yeah, but also at the same time, I think the problem still remains, and that is that I shouldn't look for an outside source to tell me how to feel about my body.
Oh,
You know, it has to
yeah.
come from a
Exactly.
personal
Yeah,
place.
and I think that's the main thing. I think that's the main thing that we should all, like, you know, do, is just, like, you know, um, be comfortable with this body. Like, I don't know, but I think it's a great exercise. Go look at yourself naked in front of the
Yes.
mirror and,
Yes.
start loving yourself.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that my gynecologist had told me. She's like, have you ever look at yourself down there to see what you look like?
Yeah.
And I was like, what's she talking about? I'm like, no.
Yes.
Yeah, and she said you have to. You have to. In order for you to get comfortable with yourself, you have to get familiar with what you look like down there.
Yeah.
And that's one of the exercise that she had told me to go and do, and I did it. And I was like, oh wow, like it's normal. It's normal. I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to get too
Nicole.
weird because we don't know, like, who's going to watch this. So, but it's okay to get familiar with your body. And though, like, those little part that you don't like, look at them in the mirror and try to appreciate them on a daily, which, like, yes, like, my breast is still an issue, but at the same time, I do love them. Though they still an issue, I still love them. Yes, they're big, they're pretty, but I know some people wish they had them. Like, I know that, and that in the back of my head, like, make me feel like, appreciative of them. But yeah, so
Yeah.
that's I guess is the message, and being comfortable with
Yeah.
as well.
I
And
think I think it was really important that you mentioned, like, looking at yourself in the in the mirror,
Mhm.
looking at all parts of you. That is super important. And it's something that I do, and I keep doing. I keep practicing. And not just look at yourself, but appreciate yourself. Look at yourself and appreciate what you have.
Definitely.
But also, like, I thought what was really interesting was that, like, I don't know if this is a trend that's, like, catching on, but I don't know. Have you guys heard of, like, I think it's called, like, gynecological reconstructive surgery. So, like, basically to make your down
Oh
low.
yeah, they're like
yeah, I've heard of that.
your JJ. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, to make it look beautiful. And that in itself is, like, controversial because,
Yeah.
yeah, there's no
I agree with you.
I mean,
Just as well, I feel like I think we should kind of touch base on that. Whenever we talk about body image disturbance, I feel like in the social media world, it's very prevalent to see women going, changing their bodies,
yes.
going under the knife, as you would call it, to look a certain way. And it's being glorified. I have the money, I can do it, I'm going to do it. But I think we need, they should be careful about the message that they're sending to younger kids,
yeah,
as far as saying that I wasn't good enough the way. No matter how you put it, I feel like enhancing your body, it's probably because you were not happy with the way that it was before. I don't think it has anything to do with being independent or being able to afford it. So, and if it's a choice, it's a personal choice, obviously, and I'm not criticizing anyone. But sometimes I worry about the message that it's sending to other kids, because you do have kids growing up thinking that they have to look like that because everyone else looks like that to be accepted, or to be beautiful.
yeah,
So I would say to anyone who's struggling with, body image issues, try not to focus on
the negative.
changing, yeah, the negative. Think about things that are so beautiful about you. um you know I want to say that because we're all black. Us black women, we have such beautiful features. Our lips are very full. And again, we talked about curves. Just embrace it and highlight it if you want, because you are beautiful. You don't have to look like, like an Instagram influencer to be beautiful.
Yeah.
You're beautiful just the way that you are. And I know that we might sound like hypocrites because and I have said in the beginning, we all have insecurities, but it's about working through
Who
your
doesn't?
insecurities.
Who doesn't? Even those
Yeah, we all.
like people that think they may look perfect Instagram, like influencers and stuff like that, they as well, like are dealing with body issues, or like other form of like self issues. We're not gonna know, because at the end of the day, like a lot of stuff that's being portrayed on there, like it's like whatever, the happiness, the like everything is peachy and perfect, but everybody goes through something. No one is perfect, and the point is to accept your imperfections, and like and work on it if you can, and try to be happy.
Yes.
For imperfections though, like I think some people would consider like a bigger waistline an imperfection. Is that really an imperfection, or is it just somebody's body?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Beautiful. What it's yep. Well put, Talisha, because it is your body, but sometimes it's all about perception. So it's a mind, it requires shift in your mindset that the fact that you have a bigger hip, you might see it as an imperfection, but that's what someone else is looking for. It's just embracing that.
Yeah.
And one thing that I think is also important is to surround yourself with people that are positive, people that in that even though they might have certain things that they're working on, but overall they're happy people,
Yeah.
and they're not people that are going to try to change everything about themselves. I think it's good to be surrounded with positivity, because if you're in a circle where all we if you're they all they talk about is the fact negative stuff, the fact that they're so unhappy, it's just a matter of time before you become unhappy yourself.
Self-destruct.
Exactly.
So Jehan and I have been going to the gym together, and I really do like those moments.
Yeah.
And I know my fitness journey began with trying to change my body, but it's gradually changed into appreciating parts of my body, because I see that kind of things that my body can do, that my body does. Ooh. Um, and it's just it's become more of a I don't know, I feel like it's become more of a glorification process, to be honest. Like when I put those weights on, Jeff, I'm like, I feel so proud. Like we were doing we were doing squats yesterday.
Yes, me too. I was like,
It was such a prideful moment. And
I
I kind of
know.
wish, like, yeah, I kind of wish so many of us would start to see the beauty in our bodies. And I think you can kind of discover that in the gym as well.
Yeah.
Yes. So for me going to the gym, it's no longer about losing weight. I am not trying to lose weight. And I think even though, with Talisha, she's trying to bulk up in tone, for me, it's more, I want to train my body to be stronger. I want to have stronger legs and a strong core. So it's very, like you said, it's very empowering when you're able to lift, because then you're like, oh my god, I can do that. And I like when when we kind of like push our bodies a little bit. The first time you put it on, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna try it. If I don't, and then I thought I was gonna do 5, and I was able to do the full 10, and you don't know how
Yeah. When you push.
proud I felt, and it felt really good. So as well as going, being healthier, I would never discourage anyone to, just adopt a healthier diet, just start exercising. But I really think it's important to to make sure that your focus is not about losing weight or seeing a
Gaining weight.
a different number on the scale, because for me that was a big change for me too. I don't focus on what the scale says anymore. I focus on how I feel. You know, my weight fluctuates from like 125 to 135. And I have to say, sometimes I see 125 and I feel great. Sometimes I see 135. Right now I'm 135 and I feel great. And some other time I'll see 130, but I don't feel so good because there are other things internally and externally that are happening.
Yeah.
Or I have to say, nutrition is really important because I realize when I eat healthy, that doesn't matter what the scale says, I feel great.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not dragging. I'm able to, you know, do my, you know, my work and exercise. I feel great. But it's when I put a lot of junk in my body, that's when, for some reason, I get more tired and I don't, you know, I don't feel as motivated.
Yeah.
So, but finding yourself, you know, like surrounding yourself with people that have the same goals as you know, even which, you know, a bigger goal. It doesn't, we don't have to have you be working on the same things, but people that focus on being positive and not just dwelling on all the negative stuff that that we have within us that we cannot change.
Yeah, I really like, I'm really starting to develop a really good, like a really loving relationship with the gym. And it's not about like changing my body. It's about what my body is going to do when I'm in there.
Exactly.
I love, oh my goodness, box jumps hurt so much and you will feel it like weeks after. But it's just so empowering to know that like, hey, I was able to jump this much and next week I'm able to jump this much. And just to see the progress, it's just, it's
very
it takes the focus. It takes the focus off of like your physical presentation, what your body looks like, and it starts to redefine what your body is. Yeah, what your body is. It's not just you're not just a mannequin, but it actually does something. It actually has a purpose beyond just looking pretty.
And I guess like, you know, it's so to hear your latest doing that. I've started working out as well from home, and it's been like, you know, a process, and my goal is to keep at it on a daily basis and see where it takes me from there. So I'm happy to hear.
Yeah,
Good.
I'm proud of you.
Well, we're just, me too.
Yeah.
So we're going to end it here. Thank you so much for joining.
Don't forget to follow,
subscribe to our YouTube channel. We also do have a live every Friday on Instagram at 7:30. Make sure you join, and we will see you next time. Remember, love yourself for who you are and keep working at the things that are bothering you, but just you are beautiful just the way you are. Just keep remembering that and believing in it. We love you. Bye-bye.